All right. Continuing on with masking, I've included a couple Photoshop files, and this first one I've opened is called glassesmasking.psd. And if you look in your layer palette, it is just this picture of the glasses with a mixed sunny and cloudy sky behind it. All right, so let's say we want to make the blue clouds show reflected in the glasses. Okay. Um, Now, one thing, obviously, we could just click on the mask icon, right, and then get uh, the paintbrush and black, and just paint maybe with hardest down would be somewhat better. We could do something like that, and then we would have to, um, zoom in on the edges and use a smaller brush and clean it up everywhere, and then maybe X to get rid of where I spilled out there. So, you could do it by hand, but let's try. I'm going to delete layer mask. And if there's a selection active and you put a layer mask on, it will automatically make the mask from the selection that's there. So in the top two rows, okay, other than the selection tool, these are all, sorry, the move tool. These are all selection tools, which we will look at in great detail next week, I think. So I'm going to get the one that's called the quick selection tool. And if I just kind of drag over it around, I can it's kind of like intuitive. It follows the area you drag over that you want to include in the mask, okay? And I'm making sure I'm on the plus up here in the top. And again, we'll go over this later because you guys don't really know this stuff that well yet, but there's to create a new selection, and this one is to add to the selection. So I'm going to drag around over here, okay, and there a little bit. So try to get it more or less accurate. And now, if I click on the create layer mask icon, all right, so I got the reverse of what I wanted. And this is one place where another shortcut comes in that you use all the time in Photoshop. Control I, okay? Control I inverts whatever layer, the contents of any layer or any mask. So it gave us pretty much what we wanted there. I might go in and, still X to invert those, clean it up a little bit because it's a little funky because that selection tool is not perfect. But at any rate, worked pretty good. Okay? And if I want it to be not so bright, I can turn down the opacity of the cloud layer. Or now here's another thing you could do. Let's say I wanted to make the clouds so you see through them to what's back there. So that means the clouds would have to be on top, right? So I'm going to drag them up to the top, okay? Now, I want to get the mask up there on top of this and use it on the cloud layer and invert it. I think this is going to work, okay? So if I control click on the mask, right, it gives me a selection based on the opacity in the mask, all right? So let's go up to the cloud layer now and click on the mask icon, and that's going to be Control I is what we want. All right, now we're going to go down here and let's get rid of the layer mask on the glasses. So we're basically reconstructing the thing in reverse order. So delete layer mask. Okay. Now with the I can if I turn down the opacity. Oh, that's cool. Okay. So see it's still clouds, but I can see a little bit through it. you know, maybe I just want it as a little bit of an effect. Okay, so that's good. Let's look at this next one I have here. It's called Mask Exercise Start. And it's just a bunch of images that I threw in here together. And let's see if we can make a cool looking thing where this dude's head is like got trees and birds flying out of it. So what we have here is, it's a white background. Here's the guy. And it's got sort of an edge here that we need to take care of. And this layer has some trees on it. And this layer is just some birds. Okay. So I'm going to start with him, put a layer mask on there, and I am going to make it somewhat bigger. And first of all, get rid of this dark line. And maybe just get rid of some of his, somewhere, this is, since it's masked, we can adjust it all later. Somewhere for the pine trees to be growing out of. Okay, then I go to the pine tree layer, throw a mask on there. Let's get rid of this stuff out here, stuff on the top. Will this be cool or not? I don't know. Get rid of the bottom. So the pine trees are just whoops. Now, this one here, I think the trees are, he's very like black and white, and the trees are kind of a little bit too light. So make sure that your tree layer is active, not the mask part, but the tree. And I'm going to go image adjustments. Here, I'm not going to use an adjustment layer. I'm just going to do it right to the thing. And brightness contrast. Okay. And turn the contrast on that a little bit to darken those trees. Yeah. All right. I'm going to turn the birds on. All right. Here we can work with blending modes a little bit, where it's normal. See, it's just a kind of black and white image. But if I change it to multiply, if I change it to screen, well, that's not helpful. But if I change it to multiply, it only puts down, it only shows pixels where they're darker than what's below. So I have this kind of nice looking, and you can see a little bit of it there. Okay. I can, in this case, maybe I'll just, instead of using the layer mask, I'll just erase a little bit of the part that I want. Or I can go image adjustments, brightness, contrast to increase the contrast a little bit to get, so the white, the light stuff becomes white. All right, let's make 2 layers of that thing. Maybe move one of them up like this. Go to this bottom layer and Control T to scale it, right? Make this bottom layer a little smaller. Go to this one. Control T is a shortcut to free transform to scale things. All right, let's see. So that's kind of cool, sort of, right? I don't know. Maybe I can, I went back down to the trees. You can also turn down the opacity of what you're painting with. I could also make the, wonder what it'll look like if I make the tree layer. Oh, it already is set to multiply. So I must have done that before when I was fooling around. It's a little foggy where they haze in together here. Oh, that's not bad. I just erased too much of his hair before. I don't know what it means, but that's kind of cool. It just shows you how you can work with masks creatively. So, you know, fine tune that to your liking, and then let's hand that thing in. So just File, Save As, and save it as a JPEG, right? And you know, this thing here, all you got to do is make sure the slider's over near the right side somewhere, and hand that in. Okay.